He was a loving child. He was cheerful. He was happy always. I used to love his laugh.
Fond memories of her son's childhood friend, a boy who'd later become one of the country's most infamous criminals.
We took him on as if it's one of my sons as well.
His name was Thabo Bester, and though unimaginable back then, he'd gained notoriety as the man behind a diabolical prison break. His freedom allegedly made possible through a suspicious fire, corrupt officials, and a dead body.
Dr. Magudumana, do you have anything to say?
Since their arrest in Tanzania 3 months ago, Bester and his alleged accomplice, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, have been joined in the dock by 10 more suspects. It's alleged one of them helped Dr. Magudumana obtain the body used as a decoy in the brazen escape. The remains were identified as those of a man called 𝗃𝗃𝗄𝗃. Another suspect, Dr. Magudumana's father, is believed to have hired the car used to transport the body to Mangaung prison. Investigators say the vehicle was driven by yet another of the suspects, a supervisor at G4S, the company that owns the prison. 7 further suspects, mostly prison employees, have been charged with violating the body and aiding the escape. Some by disabling cameras and unlocking gates through which Bester would simply stroll to freedom.
The people in the box, I call them sardines. They're just babies, Shem. I'm sorry to say, they're just babies. They are giants behind this thing.
𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is a former Mangaung prison guard. He says for such a sophisticated plot to succeed, senior staff like those now facing charges by facilitating payments had to be involved.
It's all about money.
And despite serving a life sentence for rape and murder, Thabo Bester had deep pockets. Do you think Thabo Bester was an influential prisoner in the facility?
He was running the facility. Remember, if you control the hair of the snake, it will never bite you. Thabo Bester, according to one informant of mine, had money like hardcore cash.
But Bester also had something money couldn't buy. He'd mastered the art of persuasion. It was a skill that fueled his graduation from petty criminal to con artist and eventually murderer. Now, ahead of the trial of those accused of enabling his escape, we gain more insight into Bester's personality, his shrewdness, his cunning, and into how he assumed a dominant role in prison among both inmates and some prison officials. Former Mangaung prison guard 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 was a program supervision officer and says that when Thabo Bester arrived at the facility, prison guards were warned not to engage him. That's because it's easy for an observant, manipulative inmate like Bester to spot a guard in financial trouble.
They'll just come out of the cell and just look at you. On Monday, what is it that you're eating? On the 25th, when you get your salary, what is your behavior? What are you smoking? No, I'm smoking this type of a cigarette. So they know the level of the cigarette, it means you have money. But if you're smoking this one, so they already know that you probably are broke.
Then the favors, insignificant ones at first, escalating to serious requests, paid for in cash that is smuggled into the facility. And when it came to manipulation, Bester was head and shoulders above other inmates, a testament to having had an early start in crime.
My son's phone got missing in the house. Thabo just left early and he was gone. Came back the afternoon, had money on him, and then I told my son, I think he sold the phone. And then money got missing in the house.
This is Thabo Bester's one-time guardian. We'll call her Letty to protect her true identity. Her son's school blazer was next to go. Adorned with scrolls, it symbolized his academic and sporting excellence.
We got a call from the friend telling us that I saw Thabo walking on the highway with the blazer of your son.
The older he got, the better Bester became at getting what he wanted. Inmates in the country are not allowed to have access to unsupervised devices like laptops or cell phones. If that is the case, how did a convicted rapist and murderer run a business from behind bars? How it happened remains to be answered, but it's clear from this cell phone footage that, for Bester, being behind bars wasn't a barrier to privilege.
He has a nice tone to him. Definitely. He can make an onion cry. I think he became a bit cocky and said, you know what, I can go out of this prison. I'm not running this facility. Let me go out.
After his escape, Bester returned to live and shop in Hyde Park, an upmarket Johannesburg suburb once the teenage Bester's happy hunting ground. 𝗀𝗍𝗍, founder of the 𝗃𝗏𝗏 crime prevention app, met the young Bester 17 years ago.
He was a lovely guy.
And, judging by his blazer, he was clever and good at sport. Or was he?
He was dressed in a uniform and he had all the scrolls and he looked like a schoolboy.
The mystery of the missing blazer resolved.
He was scamming the mothers, trying to get money, just like the normal kind of thing, and the mothers would dish out the money.
I was very angry with him. I was sad. I couldn't believe what this child did.
Bester was eventually arrested near the high school he claimed to be attending.
He had the confidence of a head boy. He had a uniform with all the scrolls down there, so it was very easy to be taken in by this guy.
𝗍𝗏 didn't hear of Bester again until 5 years later, 2011, the year he was convicted of robbing and raping women he met on Facebook. The following year, he was found guilty of killing Nomfundo Tyhulu, a young woman he'd met in the same way. Now, close to a decade after being sentenced, a handwritten letter he sent from prison to the family that had taken him in as a young boy provides a rare glimpse into Thabo Bester's mind. Thabo says, I was sitting
in a jail cell facing a possible life sentence. It was a time of terrible fear, darkness, and despair. My grandmother shaped me in many ways. She didn't have education, but she had superb values. And your mother sent us to church. We grew up in that environment to respect women. So all the things that people say I have done is not true.
Wow. Thabo Bester's daring escape raised many questions around the relationship between inmates and guards at the facility. All indications are that Bester planned his bid for freedom with the help of senior prison officials. He must then have known that the guards felt underpaid and used that information to orchestrate his escape.
All the directors that were there in the day did not go to policy. Why are they being not arrested? Why are they not being even suspended?
The investigation into one of the country's most sensational and sinister crimes continues as more and more suspects face trial in August. But for one heartbroken woman, the idea that Bester was its mastermind is a bitter pill.
I don't know if he really called me at that time, because the way he used to talk things and tell me, I did not think that he is a criminal.
Perhaps, though, a clue lies in the very letter he wrote to her in 2015. Amidst the heartwarming memories of years past are hints at the true nature of Thabo Bester.
My body hurts. My diabetes is type 2. I need to get meals that we don't get from the prison. The food in prison has salt and sugar. I need money to get food from the shop.
Thanks for watching. Have you heard about our new podcast? It's like Carte Blanche, but without the Sunday blues. Find Carte Blanche the podcast with new episodes uploaded weekdays on all major podcast platforms. Unique stories, unique perspectives, wherever you go.